Hi, I'm Sharon Mason, and I am a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. And I wanted to come on today just to introduce a video that I've just made from a session that I did with a client quite a while ago now, involving some higher self questions. So a higher self session is where you can ask questions of the higher self, which is like the oversoul, we would call it, and the higher self gives answers. So it goes and it appears to go and look up answers to certain questions about history, for example. And so you can put certain questions to it. It will go away, look up the answers, and it will come back to you with a very mysterious, unusual, and unexpected answer. And so I've been doing these sessions for a while now, so I thought I would share one with you. So this one is all about Earth mysteries. And in this one, we talk about the moon, resets, the sun, technologies, the melting of the buildings, World War One, the ice wall, the reptilians, other civilizations, healing technologies, etheric energy, Roslyn Chapel, sound healing, and the Nazca lines. So if you want to learn more about what the higher self has to say about all these things, then please do keep listening. And I'll be sharing more of these in the future. And of course, if you'd like to book your own session with me, my website is listed below, so please get in contact.
Okay, next question. The moon, is it plasma?
The moon.
The moon.
No.
What is it?
Moon is a celestial body, but it sits in the inner realm of the Earth. Its constitution is not what we're told. However, we're not sensing its plasma.
Okay.
Its size is very similar to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why you have eclipses. And we believe it sits inside the first firmament.
Yeah. How many firmaments are there?
Sorry, I'm counting.
Okay. Eight. And are the stars on the last one out?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very nice up here. It's very high.
Yeah. How many miles high is the last? Well, how many miles high is the first firmament? In the middle.
I'm dropping. We haven't got this knowledge on top of our head.
No, okay, that's fine.
I have to drop.
That's okay.
I have to see.
I've heard some reports it's about 50 to 60 miles up. Does that sound right?
It's very hard for us to see.
That's
I
okay.
think I'd say it's more.
More, okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
But
Okay.
probably in the hundreds.
Okay. So the moon is you sense it's some kind of solid object.
It is a solid object.
Mm-hmm.
However, its constitution is not unclear.
Right. Okay. Because some people believe that it's a space station. I used to think it was a space station that was hollow. Do you sense?
Yes, I'm sensing it's hollow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. I think it's been used from other realms.
Mm.
Other realms have higher technology.
Okay. When I did my first QHHT session, one of the things that I saw was a base on the moon. Are there bases on the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense then. Okay. Are those the bases that are on the moon? Are they from human bases or are they extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Extraterrestrial. Thank you. I'd like to know, were the people of the last civilization before whatever reset happened, were they breatharians?
Combination of people who didn't need nourishment from food.
Yeah. Is that why there are no bathrooms in some of these big old houses?
Difficult for me to say.
Okay.
But I'm sensing they had a bit of knowledge of how the body gains nourishment from
The ether?
yes, it's a type of ether. Yes, what do you call ether? It gains energy from it. However, the whole of society didn't have this knowledge. Sensing it came from a certain section of society.
Okay.
More upper class, you might say. Lower classes had similar lifestyle to now, with having to eat food and drink.
Yeah.
Well, but they still drank. They still drank.
Okay, thank you. On the subject of the last reset, how long ago approximately was, because we see evidence of melted brick buildings, how long ago did that happen in Earth years? Do you have any sense of that?
This yes, there were several events. There's not just one.
Yeah.
Caused by yes, we're clearly seeing that there was a solar aspect to the raising of heat.
Yeah.
Also, there was the manipulation of technology.
Technology.
I can see as well.
Two questions out of that. When you see there's a solar aspect, when I spoke to the higher self the last time with Fliss's higher self, the higher self said that we spoke about the 5 ages of the sun and the death of one sun and the birth of another sun. Was that solar event something to do with that, like a death of the sun?
Yes, the sun has phases, and I'm seeing catastrophic events taking place.
Yeah.
Many people were just incinerated due to the intense heat. I'm feeling the heat now. As Jared is feeling the heat. it's like a flashback remnants of that time.
Mm-hmm. And this solar event caused the buildings to melt.
Yes.
Was this worldwide or
Worldwide.
Because we see evidence, the deserts in particular places around where I see the sun's path. It was the hottest part were just turned into deserts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a real catastrophic event on proportions that humanity would never even understand.
Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. I wanted to touch on this a little more, this technology aspect. Was technology used in World War I that we are not aware of, things like sound weapons?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Germans had higher technology than the Allies.
Yeah.
And it's unclear where they had to use these weapons. However, they were in operation.
Did they create all the mud? Stuart and I were discussing trench warfare, and I couldn't understand how they built all these trenches. Were the trenches really built, or were they something else?
Something else.
There was something else.
Something else.
So they weren't.
It's not clear to us. It's not clear how they were produced. These trenches.
Okay.
It could have been this technology, but it's difficult for us. It's clouded by war. Clouds are our sight, due to its hard energies around it.
Yes.
I think that war was a disaster on massive proportions.
Yes.
Wrong, totally wrong.
Yeah.
Many souls are suffering from that.
And they're still
experience.
suffering. Yes.
I sense many are trapped due to the trauma. Unresolved. And a scar in human history.
Yes. Did the Germans win the war, really? And it was hidden from us.
That I'm not entirely. I can't give you a clear answer to it. I think there was some truth manipulation. However, I'm sensing the Allies did overcome, and the Second World War there was more advanced technology used. Which had it had origins from the other side of the ice wall.
Other side of the ice wall. Which civilization is that? Or from many civilizations outside of the ice wall?
Oh, there's many. They had bases on the ice wall, and they had control bases underground as well. And there are many high technology vehicles still there, due to failed missions to come across.
Okay. Were the Germans working with the Reptilians?
Yes. The Luftwaffe. The Luftwaffe.
The Luftwaffe.
And SS.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay. I was going to ask, one of the questions I was going to ask was there more land beyond the ice wall? But I think you've answered that question.
Yes, there's many.
Is there a lot of land? Yeah.
There's continents.
Continents.
Bigger than the continents you have here.
Yeah.
In the inner part.
How many civilizations are out there?
Between 20 and 30.
20 to 30 civilizations. And I presume they're all higher tech than we are?
Yes. To a more or less degree. Some have portal technology. Well, you call them spaceships. They're inner ships, but they're interdimensional.
Yeah.
Craft.
Did we used to have portal technology here on Earth?
Yes.
In the cathedrals and places, these big buildings.
Vatican did.
The Vatican.
And places of interest now have remnants of portals still there, but the device is lost. However, there's remnants of the energy still there from the portals.
Are there any portals in Britain? Or were there any portals in Britain?
London.
Are we talking in the old buildings like St Paul's?
Yes, St Paul's.
St Paul's.
That's the large cathedral, isn't it?
Yes.
And Westminster.
Westminster. Gosh, I've been to Westminster a lot.
And
the Abbey, yeah?
Abbeys, yeah. Well, Abbeys had potential to have portals. Not all of them were used. But these buildings were for special purpose taken by the church. But they had other usage.
Yeah. Were they healing centres as well? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And energy collecting?
Yes.
Because we see a lot of these old churches with these funny looking spires and decorative pillars on top, and I'm thinking now that they were used for some kind of energy collection or lighting or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, that was their initial purpose.
Okay, because I mean it brings up so many other questions. One of the questions actually I wanted to ask that's just come up when you started talking about these portals. I've heard recently that there are some people that think that Edinburgh is the real Jerusalem. Is that true or false?
False.
It's false.
Yes, I don't see. I'm not. I don't see a connection.
Mm-hmm. But presumably Edinburgh was important in the old world because there's an awful lot of old world looking technologies.
Yes.
There.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Scotland had a lot of this hidden knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And portals as well.
Tell me about Roslin Chapel near Edinburgh. Is that I've kind of felt a portal there. Is there a portal there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's known as quite strange place, Roslin Chapel, because of the architecture. Is there a coding in the architecture?
Yes, it's. I'm sensing that it's become it was a building of great importance due to the hidden knowledge, or the knowledge which they engraved within the stone. It became like the hub, I suppose you could use, for the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a place to commemorate and celebrate the knowledge.
Yeah.
I believe this was the place. And it has some Christ connection.
Is this knowledge to do with sound healing or sound creation, or something to do with sound or notes?
Yes, it's a resonance of a frequency which, if the resonance reaches a certain pitch, it creates the building creates a chamber for this frequency to keep, and the architecture is designed to hold that frequency.
And what does it do? Is it for healing, or?
Yes, it was used mostly for the community to heal, and just dwell in it for a certain period. But over the period of time, it was obviously used, or the buildings were used for religious purposes. So religion came into it on a rather natural scale, but the original purpose was very different. Although many churches were built purely for worship,
Yeah.
which had no connection to...
No connection to the healing?
No.
Okay, thank you. What are the Nazca lines?
These... Yes, they're showing me a civilization that lived there, which had visitations. called Sky People.
So it's ET visitors.
Well, again, this is, yes, the word extraterrestrial is misused, but I see them as visitors from over the ice wall.
Over the ice wall. That's what I mean when I say extraterrestrial.
Yes, because they were on several missions, and they didn't have to travel too far, actually. And
there's a break in the ice wall near South America?
Well, there's about four
breaks.
Four major breaks. However, they flew. I'm sensing that they flew, and they didn't come by boat.
Okay.
They flew over.
Yeah.
In craft, and the people there honoured them with shapes and animals, and
it was an honour to them, or a symbol of
an honour.
So do they represent anything?
I think this was done purely to represent their appreciation. So they made certain carvings.
How did they
randomly.
How did they make them? Did they just carve them with primitive tools in the dirt, or did they have technology?
I have to see. They had certain devices which they could use to make them quickly, and they seem to be pulling it. They seem to be pulling it in front of them.
Devices.
To carve in the soil quickly and accurately.
Okay.
Like a plough machine of some description, but it had. I'm seeing certain technical aspects to it.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask about the orphan trains. We hear a lot about, after a great reset, all of these babies suddenly came from nowhere and appeared on orphan trains, and they were being sold in at the world fairs. Where did all these babies come from?
It's not clear.
Okay.
It's not. I can't get a clear understanding of it.
Maybe that they were being cloned or produced, or
I'm sensing some engineering involved.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, there could be some cloning engineering involved in the process. Due to, I can see a lot of them, hence why I'm confused as to how many they produce so quickly. So I'm sensing that they were artificially produced.
Yes.
Which is extraordinary. But I can't get a clear understanding of where they came from. It can only be from some manufacturing.
It's possibly the underground facilities or something like
Maybe.
that. Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What was the Earth, when Earth was created, what was it created from originally? What was it originally? How? Because I've been told by Felicity herself that it was quite small originally. What do you sense?
I'm sensing a contraction. It's reduced in size.
It's reduced.
Because Earth had to cater for extraordinary sized beings.
Yes. Is it a giant graveyard, basically?
Yes.
It is.
There's many remnants of large, extremely large beings which inhabited the Earth.
Are we talking beings as big as continents? Yeah.
They're very large. They may not be the size of continents, but they're extremely large. More than your earthly people could understand.
Yes.
Miles high beings.
Yeah.
Which is inconceivable to most people. Well,
were the firmaments in place while these giant beings walked the earth?
yes.
They were.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've been here since the creation.
The firmaments have been here since creation, so it was all created together as in the Bible.
Yes.
Okay. What about the lands outside of Earth? Was everything created at the same time, or was Earth created after some of the lands outside?
No, it was designed the way it is currently. So that nothing came in stages. It was designed to happen together.
So when we talk about, I'm presuming it's all a flat plane.
Yes.
So when we talk about this flat plane, I'm trying to get a sense of scale and whether or not the other continents or other planet, what we would call planets, part of this realm, have firmaments.
No.
They don't.
This is the ultimate creation. There is no other. Not to the same level of understanding. The planets have their own rotation. In the 8 firmaments.
Yeah.
The upper firmament is galactic, you might say, and has many lights above the waters.
When we talk about the waters, are the waters just over Earth, or are they over everything?
Everything.
So what separates the waters from the lands beyond the ice wall?
The ice wall.
So I'm talking about the waters above. So the waters above the Earth, or the firmaments, the waters above the firmaments.
Yes.
What separates those waters above?
The firmament.
So are the waters above contained?
Contained.
They're contained in a firmament.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Thank you. That explains that.
Yes. Yes.
So beyond that, beyond the firmaments,
Yes.
what's What's beyond upwards? If we look upwards from the flat plane, what's beyond the firmaments?
Something you can't explain.
Okay. Thank you.
And it's very hard to explain
Okay.
in an earthly understanding.
So when we look out with telescopes and we see nebula and what looks like, what things that look like, star clusters and things like that, are we just looking at stuff that is within the firmament, or are we seeing beyond the firmaments?
Beyond.
We're seeing beyond. Okay.
Through the firmaments.
Right.
Which was designed. Because the firmaments are extremely clear in their properties, and it would be they can be seen through each firmament.
Yeah.
And each one is thousands of miles wide. It's an extraordinary creation.
What are the firmaments made of?
I can't explain.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. These giant titans, the ones that we see petrified, were they nitrogen breathing?
Silicon.
They were silicon based, but did they breathe oxygen or nitrogen or something else?
Yes, the atmosphere of the Earth was different.
Yeah.
The constitution of oxygen and nitrogen was different. Hence why they could be sustained.
So what changed?
Yes, the air was changed.
Was that on purpose?
On purpose.
Okay.
They were too destructive and too dark in their ways.
Okay, they were too destructive. So the air was changed by the creator or creators.
Yes, it was a divine creation decision to remove them.
When we talk about the creator of the earth, when we're talking about the air was changed by the creator, is this creator separate from source, part of source, or is this creator source?
Source.
It is source. Okay. Thank you. 'Cause I wanted to try and get an idea of how that worked and what to call. Does source mind what we call it? Because some people refer to it as God, some people refer to it as the divine, some people call it source.
No, source is okay. It's a unified quantum level of understanding, where you use the word God. However, it's a divine intelligence. Which is self-aware.
Yeah.
And it's always there. Everywhere, permeates everywhere. And society have the ability to use it more. And people have.
Can you explain a bit more about that?
It's done through enlightened beings that come and gone.
Like Jesus?
He was just one of many avatars, you might say, which he was one. And they come to explain the truth, which he did.
Yeah.
However, I'm sensing he's rather disappointed with society in certain ways. of manipulating his teachings.
Yeah.
He didn't want the church to perceive him in the same way.
Is it true that they don't want to be worshipped? Is that correct?
Yes, he with all the avatars that have come and gone, their initial teaching is not for worship.
No.
It's for understanding and practice. And Jesus said that you'll find me everywhere, but not in one place.
Yeah.
Hence the churches are worshipping the divine, but however it's not done on a practical level to gain insight into people's power.
It's more about control?
In a sense. Yeah, the church itself is one hand of the darkness.
Yes. Yes. And I work with a lot of Christians, and it's very hard, I think, it's hard for me to know what I know and to be around people that are quite closed off.
The people that follow Jesus and his teachings are well-meaning people.
Yeah.
Some are good, some are not so good. However, they are misunderstanding the true teachings from him.
Yes.
And over time, that will become more understanding about who these individuals were. The return of Jesus is also been obviously talked about. The coming of Christ, not the second coming, as you call it. However, the second coming is the ascension process of enlightenment. And his knowledge will be understood and practiced.
So people will come to learn the truth.
Yes. However, we must understand that he was just one of many with the same truth.
Yes.
But in different aspects. Through doctrines and through different types of faiths around the world. However, it has a common denominator. But obviously it's been manipulated by certain faiths.
Yes.
And cultures. However, they all are all the same spirit, essentially, from source.
When you talk about avatars, I've just been looking up all of the names of different cultures, the different gods that they believe in. All of these different gods, do they... What I'm trying to ask is, were they real? Were they avatars of source? Were they real people? Were they real beings? Like, for example, if we take the Egyptian pantheon of gods, were they real beings?
Yes. These were very ancient. Before, yes, before predating the civilizations that you were taught. These beings were here, giants.
They were giants.
They were huge. And they had wars. They were quite destructive. But they were here, and they were the foundations of the gods that they worshipped now from the civilizations that worship them.
Were they of the earth? Were they created of the earth, or did they come from somewhere else?
Yes, I believe they came from the other worlds.
Right.
Yes.
When I look at taking some of the Egyptian gods as examples, some of them are depicted with like heads of jackals and heads of eagles. Did they actually have heads?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anubis.
Yeah.
Yes, one of them, and there's many stories of gods killing each other that was based on truth. That slightly changed. Seth and everything, Osiris, and they ruled these lands prior to the pharaohs.
Yes. Was Medusa real, or is this a description of an event that happened? The petrification, the turning men to stone, is that a description of an event, or is Medusa a real entity?
The Greek mythology was based on true hybrid beings.
A hybrid being.
Yes.
What about so the power to turn men to stone, was that real?
Yes.
Yeah.
The giants used to manipulate and breed hybrids of immense power and evil, unfortunately.
Wow.
Lots were sea creatures.
Is this why they were destroyed?
Yes, because they became too destructive, as I said, and they had served their time.
Are we talking here pre-dinosaurs, after dinosaurs? What are we talking here in regard to dinosaurs?
Yeah, talking in your years, between 20 to 30,000 years ago.
20 to 30,000 years ago.
Dinosaurs were living at a similar time. Yes.
Okay. And when I quizzed Fliss's higher self the last time, they were explaining that the dinosaurs were sort of like domesticated animals that were used for like farming sort of purposes.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, certain ones were more suitable to farming.
Yeah.
Because of their makeup and temperament.
And we've seen there are old paintings with people riding on the
yes.
long-necked, like a brontosaurus. Was that what they did?
Yes. Yes, they did use them for travel.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Smaller ones.
Yes.
They were immense size as well.
Yeah.
Some.
And we can see evidence of petrification of some of these massive reptiles in the landscape as well, can't you? Yeah, I've seen some of that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I think we might have covered this last time, but was there any particular timescale for the last mud flood, or again are we looking at lots of events that happened over a long period?
Yes. 1870 to 1890.
1870 to 1890.
Right, last one.
Right. And when, again, was that worldwide, or
Yes,
it was worldwide?
worldwide.
What caused it?
Manipulation of energy and weaponry.
And who did that?
I'm sensing it was the controlled elite at the time.
The controlled elite. Yeah. That's what we thought. Thank you. Were these controlled elite, did they have, were they in cahoots with the extraterrestrials?
It's not clear for me to see this.
Okay. Looking at sort of the area where we are now, we're somewhere near what's called the St. Michael ley line. What are ley lines, or what is the St. Michael ley line? What causes it?
These are magnetic lines across the earth.
The magnetic line. So are they caused naturally by the magnetic currents that?
The line that you described has a different kind of energy to it, and can be controlled, and has a certain self-aware intelligence to it, which includes the female and male energy line. Other ley lines are straighter and more rigid, however have similar properties, manipulation properties, healing properties, hence why the ancients used them for alignments, passed down through generations from generations. It's always been an old knowledge which has never died, apart from today's society, sadly.
Yeah. So are we, when we're on the ley lines, are we able to, when we're at certain places, are we able to kind of tap into that energy and use that energy for healing or whatever?
Yes. Yes. If the line is used correctly, has to be invigorated, I suppose you could say. That's the word to use. To create its best purpose, and the ancients knew of its properties, of their healing properties and their intelligence, and they manipulated the landscape using their knowledge.